Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. To me, this means that if you get more intentional and become more aligned about the way that you think, the way that you feel, and what you believe, you can alter and shift your reality. If you've ever wondered why manifestation didn't work for you that one time, or why some people say that they don't believe in manifestation just because it wasn't successful for them, it's because a lot of us put a lot of weight on the law of attraction when there is a full 12 laws of the universe that are so powerful. And when you tap into it, you're able to attract your greatest desires in a way that is so whole and complete because you're able to understand perspective and patience and action and the feminine and the masculine and correspondence and karma. This will allow you to really embody everything that you were meant to experience in your lifetime, anything that you embody, and all the things that you're meant to create. Let's tap into it. I'm your host, Tiffany Chung, your go-to for all things marketing, mindset, and manifestation. I grew my online business from 0 to beyond 6 figures in 8 months. My purpose is to empower women to step into the highest, most aligned versions of themselves. If you are ready to take charge of your life, learn how to design a wildly successful business, and leave limiting beliefs behind, you've come to the right place. You will learn the actionable tips and step-by-step strategies on money, manifestation, and social media. It's time to step into your role as boss, to raise your vibration and tap into your unlimited potential today. Welcome to the Social Reset Podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the Social Reset Podcast. I'm so excited for this episode because I feel like there's so many layers to manifestation, especially beyond just the law of attraction. And that's what I'm breaking down in this episode. A lot of people think that manifestation either didn't work for them, or maybe it worked once, or maybe they gave up way too early and now they're telling other people that the law of attraction or manifestation doesn't exist. And it's because we put a lot of weight on things like the law of attraction and forget that there are 11 other laws of the universe that really help us operate and were designed by the source, the creator of the universe, to help us understand more about life and how life happens for us and doesn't happen to us. So let's just dive right in and break these down. So the very first one I'm going to cover is, of course, the law of attraction. So this is essentially the understanding that like attracts like. Positive energy, positive thoughts attract more positive thoughts and energy into your space and environment, similarly to how negative energy attracts more negative energy into your environment. It's like hanging out with the same group of people that continue staying stagnant where they're at in life and not wanting more for themselves, or just kind of accepting their reality as is. And if you continue to surround yourself with more and more friends that think and have that kind of lack or scarcity mindset, or very low vibration where they're constantly complaining or talking about other people, well, is essentially going to bring out more of that energy and more of that low vibe in you as well. Similarly to if you have and hold this very high vibration and these positive thoughts, you're going to attract more of that into your reality. Number 2 is the law of oneness. This is the law that we are all one. We are all connected to God. We are not separate entities. So this can be displayed in a way where if someone has exactly what you desire, instead of feeling jealousy towards them, starting to get really excited and holding gratitude for them as well as for yourself, and allowing yourself to realize that the fact that you can see it, the fact that you recognize it, and that it's exposed to you in your reality, means that it's coming for you next. The fact that you're able to identify that that's something that you desire means that you're vibing on that same frequency. And so a lot of people see this and they instantly get jealous and they think their thought process is, man, they're so lucky that they have that. I wish I could have that too. And the underlying thought that they're holding is that can't happen for me. If you're able to reframe that in a way to say, I'm so excited for you and I'm going to be so excited and so grateful when it happens to me too. The law of oneness shows that if someone else can manifest $1 million business, or if somebody else can manifest their dream soulmate, or if somebody else has, the dream car that you want, or that degree, or having a healthy relationship with their parents, whatever that might look like, it means that it's something that's possible for you to achieve as well. So that's why it's really important to really be cautious of what we say to others. Our subconscious mind really doesn't know the difference. It's similar to like if you're in traffic and someone cuts you off and you're cussing them out and you're yelling at them and kind of spewing this hate, your subconscious mind is not going to know the difference and it's going to soak it all in. And so it's going to think that you're talking to yourself, and what you wish upon others, you're also wishing upon yourself. So really thinking about the fact that we are all one, we are all connected, we are all a collective consciousness. And the more we're able to live our life in alignment and really be aware of our intentions and these laws, the more we'll be able to raise the vibration of the universe. Speaking of vibration, I'm going to go into the third law, which is the law of vibration. And this essentially states that every single thing has an energy and has a frequency. You are constantly processing and vibrating and emitting at a certain frequency. So when we talk about manifestation and raising your vibration to match the frequency of the thing that you desire, it allows you to feel good about it and it allows you to attract it on an energetic level. So if there's something that doesn't feel good, or you feel like there's something that's holding you back, it might prevent you from manifesting it because there's a part of you that believes that it might not happen or that it doesn't happen. So it's really important to really identify, what are those things that might be holding you back? What are those limiting beliefs? And fully embodying that belief, that full understanding, knowing that it is done in order to manifest what you want in your life. So love is the highest level of vibration and hatred is the lowest, most dense vibration. So here's a little hack for you, and this is something that I like to do when I like to quickly raise my vibration, is I just start with naming small things that I'm really grateful for, and I continue building it into bigger and bigger and bigger things until I literally feel a little spark in my stomach. I feel butterflies. I'm starting to tingle, and I can feel this physical actualization of my vibration rising. So here's an example. I might start by saying, I'm so grateful for my feet. I'm so grateful for my legs. I'm grateful for my fingernails. I'm grateful for my arms. I'm grateful for my face and my body. And I'm grateful for this microphone and this laptop and my home, my car. I'm grateful for all the things that I see around me, as well as all of the things that I have in my current reality that I can see, that I can feel. And I continue rising. And a really big hack when it comes to manifestation is saying thank you and being grateful for things that have not even actualized into your reality yet. It is about living as if it's already happened before it happens and taking that inspired action. Okay. So as you are, raising your vibration and you're holding this gratefulness for everything around you, you're then able to say, thank you so much for $1 million of revenue in my business, right? And the more you're able to vibrate at that frequency, the frequency that $1 million is at, the quicker you'll be able to see, feel, touch that in your own reality. It'll also allow you to take that inspired action, which leads us into our fourth law, the law of inspired action. So this essentially is the fact that you do have to take action to create the physical manifestation of whatever it is that you want, right? So in order to bring something from an energy, so from your thoughts, from your ideas into the physical realm, into your reality, so that it is something that you can hold, you can see it, you can share about it. That's essentially what this is. And this is what I talk about in my align, act, and actualize, is aligning yourself with what you want, and being able to take that action, right? That action is going to be that more masculine energy, and taking the action that feels good to you. It should light you up. And for me, as someone that tends to lean on her masculine energy a lot, which is a lot of action. It's a lot of doing. I have been learning to work and act smarter and not harder in order to create more of the inspired action rather than just taking action in general, because we're so conditioned to do busy work, right? Like in our schools, in our day jobs, we were taught to just complete a lot of busy work that makes us feel like we're productive and isn't actually moving the needle in our business. It's not actually creating revenue generating tasks for us to complete on a level that is actually going to change the trajectory of our business. And so inspired action is something that lights you up. It's something that pops into your mind and allows you to feel inspired and really pushes you or challenges you to do something that you might not normally do, right? Something that just kind of comes out of nowhere. It's like this intuitive nudge. So asking yourself, like, what do I feel like doing right now? What would be fun to do? You will be led towards action that will yield you towards the law of attraction. All right, so number 5 is the law of correspondence. And this is essentially that your outer world reflects your inner world. So this is why I talk so much about mindset and so much about subconscious reframing and really breaking down the way that you view the world and your own beliefs. Because say if I just taught social media strategy all day, right? All I taught was, this is how you need to, this is the way that you need to talk, or this is what you need to post, or this is how many times, and, create all of this strategy. But if someone is still living in that mindset of Instagram's never going to be a tool I can use in my business for me to attract my clients. I hate Instagram. I believe that Instagram is extremely toxic. It doesn't matter how much strategy I share with them or how good the strategy is. It could be the best strategy in the world. But if someone goes into that strategy and takes that action with the mindset of Instagram sucks, they're never going to reach their fullest potential. Right? Because think about how you're going to show up on Instagram. And this is just one example, right? Think about how you would show up on Instagram with the mindset that Instagram sucks. I'm never going to be able to reach my dream clients. They're probably just going to throw posts up there without any intention. They're probably not going to think much about it. They may even come from this place of desperation. Like they need another client. They're desperate and they're pushy. And it comes from this place of lack. And people can sense that. Versus if you were to come from a place of really working on your mindset and not being so reactive, but starting with yourself first and intentionally creating it, starting from the inside and then letting it transition into your outer physical reality, right? So if your inner and outer don't match up, there might be some conflict there that might affect what you're manifesting. And so you can take all of the action that you want, And that's why these laws work well with one another, because if you were to just take that law of action and just take action, 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 it's not going to get you closer to your goals, right? Getting really clear on your mindset, what is holding you back, how to release that is going to help you really transform into your higher self. Number 6 is the law of cause and effect. It's also known as the law of karma. So it's essentially whatever you send out into the universe, you are going to receive back to yourself. So whatever you do to others, those actions, it's always going to come back to you. You're always going to reap it. I like the example of whatever seed you decide to plant, the ground doesn't care. It could be a poisonous seed. It can be a thriving, prosperous seed. Whether it's seeds of hope or of success, that will grow. And if it's negativity or destruction or death, that will grow as well. So just the law of cause and effect, and really being aware of what you put out into the universe, what you say into the universe, that comes back to you. And number 7 is the law of compensation. So whatever you give and you want to receive, you will also receive in return. So as long as you are giving, you give to others, you do things that are kind, you don't expect anything to come back to you. Even if, say, you gave a $5 bill to somebody that doesn't have a home, that person may not be the one that comes back to give you a $5 bill, right? But there's something else based on that action, based on that law, that will come back to you in a positive way. So this might be the form of, someone paying for your Starbucks drink one morning. Or it might be, someone deciding to randomly gift you something. So even if it's not coming back to you in the same way that you put it out into the universe, knowing that it will come back to you. And I love the quote, life supports which supports life. So if you are doing something that is going to help support the lives of others, if you are living an abundant, giving, compassionate, empathetic life and being able to share that with the people around you, if you're adding to others' lives, you are also going to be blessed in return. Life supports which supports life. Number 8 is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. So this essentially says that you have the power to change your life. So getting into a very, very high vibe state will allow you to recognize that things are falling into place for you, that life is constantly happening for you, not to you. And that high vibration is capable of consuming and taking over anything around it that is low vibration. So even that smallest action can really have a profound effect. You have so much power that you hold within you. And this is really powerful because you can see it time and time again when people live their lives in alignment and they manifest what they want and they start living their dream lives. People around them that may have judged them at first or may still have a really low vibration or a lack mindset, they're looking at that and they're looking at that person living their life so unapologetically, so unfuckwithable. I love that word. And they can't help but be like, wow, there's something going on there, right? I feel like this is such a easy example to understand because we've probably seen it in the way that we live our lives, and it impacts the people around us because they start going, where do you get your energy from? Like, where do you get your very positive high vibe from, right? That's something that's attractive, not just in a romantic way, but it is something that is magnetic. It is attractive attractive to everybody around you where they're like, wow, I would love to get a piece of that. And I think that's so powerful. And I love being able to express this on social media through live video content or pre-recorded content, stories, reels. And the more I am able to embody and infuse everything I create with the highest level of vibration and energy, and when it's in alignment for me and it's inspired action, something that I feel like I'm called to share with my audience, just like this episode, it affects positively everybody who listens to it. I've gotten so many messages by people saying, wow, your energy is just bouncing off of the screen. Like, I can feel how much this lights you up when you talk about this topic. When I talk about my business, when I talk about money and financial freedom, all of these things light me up so much. And as a generator in human design, you picking and choosing to do and say and speak up and share about the things that light you up is in alignment for you and everyone else around you. It literally creates magic. All right, number 9 is the law of relativity. It's also known as the law of perspective, which essentially allows you to understand that even if you're going through a really, really tough season right now, maybe you feel like the world is out to get you, you feel like nothing's making sense anymore, you feel like you have a stroke of bad luck, right? Which isn't true. You're able to shift your perspective because no cycle or no season is here to stay forever. And without the rain, like no rain, no flowers, right? And so the more we're able to look at it from a different perspective of, okay, if I'm going through this really tough season, maybe life is rearranging some things right now in my life that I just can't see because we can't figure out exactly why something is happening until we're at that point in our timeline, right? So it's not like we can jump ahead and see, all right, let's figure out how exactly this plays out. Let's figure out all these little details. We're not able to do that. So the more we're able to shift our perspective and our mindset around what's happening, the more we will appreciate the highs once we have gone through the lows. And this is really powerful and kind of speaks into the next law, which is the law of polarity. And essentially that shares that if there's an up, then there's also a down. The fact that you've had some pretty shitty experiences in your life, I think of some of the toxic relationships that I've had. That was a negative, right, in my life. And so, or at least I saw it and experienced it as a negative. But it also taught me exactly what I want in a future partner. So because I had those bad experiences where I was like, ooh, I'm not going through that again, or I'm going to walk away from this situation because it's no longer serving me, it teaches me, okay, I don't want that. I actually want this. And so I'm able to identify red flags when I'm going on first dates. I'm able to walk away when someone is not aligning themselves to my core values, right? So there are so many things that these situations can teach you as long as you're open to learning that lesson. And remember, the universe is going to teach you the same lesson over and over and over and over and over until you get it. And honestly, I'm speaking to myself here because I've always been one to learn the hard way. And I can be stubborn sometimes. And so just recognizing that the universe is always giving you exactly what you need in the time that you need it. And if you don't get something that you originally wanted, it wasn't meant for you anyway. Everything that is meant for you is coming for you. It's not going to miss you. I promise. Okay, so let's talk about the last two laws. 11 is the law of perpetual motion. It's also known as the law of rhythm. And this essentially just shares that everything is forever changing. Our job is to embrace that ride, and nothing is permanent either. Nature, the seasons, everything is very cyclical. So when you are in that very negative down cycle, it may be preparing you for so much prosperous change and not to force it. So this law of rhythm, this law of motion is to kind of allow us to ride the wave and identify what is this teaching us, what is this showing us in order for us to really rise into the highest version of ourselves, because everything is happening for our greater good. And then the last law is the law of gender, the law of the masculine and feminine. So when I talk about masculine and feminine, this doesn't mean a gender. It doesn't mean like men and women. This is non-gender conforming. This is masculine and feminine energies. So you may have heard this before as like, oh, I'm so much in my masculine right now, or I need to tap into more of my feminine energy. That's what it means. Masculine is very much action. It's a lot of doing, right? Feminine is a lot of being. It's a lot of tapping into your intuition. So you see this play out in nature. And I like the analogy of in nature, masculine could be like the very hard rocks or mountains or hills. And the feminine can be seen as the water that flows throughout it, like that waterfall. And so in business, what I like to approach it as, because I can show up very much in my masculine and just do all day long until I give myself vertigo like I did in the first few months of my business. What I like to do is create a masculine foundation, because the two need to work together. If it's too feminine, nothing ends up getting done. But if it's too masculine, then it's a lot of just strategy and not so much flow. It ends up being a lot of hustle, which we see a lot of, without embodying that time of rest and listening to your intuition and just allowing yourself to be, which is so important. Just allowing yourself to be is so powerful. So having a foundation of masculine energy and then infusing it with the feminine is a really beautiful way to approach business, especially as a business owner, but also in so many different areas of your life as well. So the masculine and feminine, these are energies of giving and of receiving, and they operate within all of us. So every single one of us has feminine and masculine energies. It doesn't matter if you are a male, if you identify as a male, identify as a female, he, she, they, non-binary. It doesn't matter what your gender is. It is really just a phrase. So masculine and feminine energies, and some people have more masculine, some of them have more feminine energy. And that's what that looks like. That's what that means. So those are the 12 laws. My intention of sharing these laws and breaking them down for you is to help you be more intentional and really conscious about all of the different laws from the universe in order to live a more aligned life and really just go beyond just the law of attraction, because we hear about it a lot, right? It's the most popular law, but this will allow us to just be more patient and kind, not only with others, but with ourselves, and allow us to really see things from a different perspective and allow us to have relativity, to have polarity, to understand the law of cause and effect, that karma, that correspondence, that inspired action, and the vibrations and the oneness. I think when we are able to apply and absorb all of this together at once, being able to apply not just the law of attraction when it comes to manifestation, but all of these 12 laws together in unison, I think that beautiful things can happen. And I 100% believe that you will be able to manifest any single thing that you desire, because you are a creator. You were created to be a creator. And based on the law of oneness, we are connected to God, right? Who is source, who is the creator, regardless of what you believe. And we are also creators too. And with that said, we're also co-creators with the universe. And so you get to decide the trajectory of where your life is going, what you decide to manifest. You have that power. You are so powerful. Okay? You are so powerful. When you get intentional about the way that you think and feel and believe, you truly can alter and shift your reality. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. If this episode resonated with you, please take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me at tiffanychung.co. I truly appreciate interacting with every one of you. Catch you all on the next one.